Let's talk about beating meat for a little bit. Trying to beat real meat, but in the end, it's the fake meat that's going to get beat tender. Fake meat and the samizdat grindset. Hello, my friends. Do you sometimes wonder how you personally can strike back at the vast array of hostile capital being employed against you? Well, wonder no more, because I'm about to share this one cool trick to give woke capital and ESG a pinprick. Bill Gates hates it. And I've taken to calling it the samizdat grindset, after a passive resistance to the Soviet regime within the Soviet Union, where people would manually circulate subversive publications amongst each other, often by hand. In this article, we will target the fake meat industry. This is how we beat the fake meat. The trick is you actually got to beat it harder than you beat your real meat. You've all seen the ruckus surrounding fake meat as of late. Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat, these types of products market themselves as climate-friendly meat substitutes that get way more hype than they deserve. It's almost as if it was manufactured hype, huh? It's almost as if they had massive ad campaigns that they bought. Huh. Interesting. I looked at them with the typical apathetic contempt most of us feel when these products, until I spoke with a friend of mine who owns a restaurant. I came to visit him and have dinner with my family and noticed that he had a little folded paper advertisements for Beyond Meat on his tables, and I asked what made him decide to start offering it as an option. He stated that Beyond and Impossible Meat sent him the product for free and even paid him to put up the paper signs on his tables, and he doesn't have to pay them a cent regardless of if the stuff sells or if it spoils. Crazy, right? Yeah, this is totally natural. I mean, this many loss leaders. Fake meat is currently occupying a space in the market known as being a loss leader, in which which is essentially when you are selling a product or giving it away for as low of a price as possible to grow market share or the number of people using the product as fast as possible. And then you pull the bait and switch. Yeah, kind of like how Walmart offers like just bargain bin prices on everything when they move into a new location to put all the local stores out of business. And as soon as all the local shops are gone, they jack the prices up higher than they were in the local shops. That's all part of the plan. So you'll notice that if you're attentive in the grocery store, these fake meat brands are almost always in full stock, and think to yourself, how are they still in business? Nobody wants this stuff, and they've got to be burning ad spend on all these commercials and promotional deals with large corporate chains and small restaurants alike. The answer has nothing to do with climate change or veganism or overpopulation, and actually ties directly with our trade deficit with China and their food security. The goal of these companies is to convince you to literally eat garbage. I'm glad someone's finally saying it, but this is what it is. We'll be sustainable once you guys literally eat garbage. We're still going to eat our fancy steaks, though, but you're going to eat garbage. These foods are made of waste byproducts from Chinese agriculture. You see, the Chinese have a major food security problem, particularly where protein is concerned, and are currently willing to buy top dollar and threaten our animal feed infrastructure if we don't sell them beef. So we are trading them American beef, and they are trading us garbage agricultural waste that gets turned into hip, trendy, disgusting tasting Franken meat. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. So let's talk about what you can do to impact this state of affairs. Now it's the important part. As an extreme example of a loss leader, most grocery stores that sell fake meat don't have to pay for it. In fact, they get paid by these companies for the shelf space that otherwise would be taken up by real meat or vegan vegetarian options that don't involve cynical woke economics. This means that these stores fully expect much of the stock of fake meat to receive to eventually spoil and get thrown out. This doesn't particularly bother them, which is where Samir's comes in. Yeah, before then, though, I mean, I gotta say, like some people are kind of even reeling at the vegan or vegetarian options that don't involve cynical woke economics. Like, I'll say this right now. There's a lot of vegan and vegetarian food that was never meant as a meat replacement that I actually like. I will say they've done a lot of good work in finding ways to make like non-meat dishes taste better. When they try to be a meat replacement, they always fall flat on their face. But if they stick to food that already had no meat in it, like, man, like the vegans make some pretty good mac and cheese, for example, or vegetarians rather. Can't have it. Can't be vegan with the cheese in it. No, it's saying, you love soy. I like soy sauce. I like teriyaki. Don't automatically discount vegetarian or vegan stuff just because it has vegetarian or vegan on it. If it was something that never had meat to begin with, then there's usually no problem for me. But where they try to replace meat, though, that's where they always fail every time. Now, anyway, back to taking the fight to them. You know how sometimes you pick something up and put it in your cart and you decide you didn't want it, or perhaps you found something better, so you just sheepishly put it on a nearby shelf and get on with your day. Yeah, I've done that before. And knowing the Night Stalkers will put it back, that's something that happens every day, constantly in stores all over the nation. Well, when this happens to perishable products that require refrigeration, they get thrown away as spoilage because no store wants to sell room temperature meats to customers and get blamed for makes them sick. And this is where we come in and do a little mischief. Oh, man. Hashtag disavow. All right. All I ask of you is that every time you get dragged to the grocery store to get food for your family, make a stop by the meat aisle along the way, grab any number of products you feel comfortable with, and put them in your cart, forget about them. And then when you're perusing, say, the dog food aisle and you realize made a mistake, so you put the fake meat back in the wrong place. Very simple. No risk to you because it's something that happens every day. You can tell your friends about it because it feels good too. A few people doing this is a blip, but large groups of people doing this every time they go to the grocery store becomes a problem that's difficult to solve. The grocery store doesn't care. It's not hurting them. The loss prevention guy doesn't care. It's not like you're stealing and people do this every day. What's he going to do? Call you a liar? So now you might be thinking at this point, how do these companies stay in business aggressively shilling product nobody wants, made of waste byproducts from a rival foreign power? Well, the answer is simple. Investment capital. It's always activist investors. It is always them. Fund managers, activist billionaires, retail investors trying to buy the cartel, invest money into them. In the case of giants that manage the funds, such as BlackRock, State Street, or Vanguard, they are potentially investing into those products with your pension fund or 401k that they manage. Potentially, that's exactly what they're doing. This is why you should remove your money from the whole system if you can. All right, the material damage intended is that by depleting the shelves of fake meat faster, it will force these companies to upscale their production, expensive to do, of fake meat that isn't actually being sold. And even if they don't do that, it's more space for real meat. The added benefit of this zero risk enterprise is more metaphorical. You need to help people get more comfortable with subtle acts of resistance towards a regime when there's nothing that'll give someone a taste for it. Like something that feels good, has no risk, and takes place as part of regularly scheduled ritual like grocery shopping. So you don't even have to go out of your way to do it. That's right. It's the ultimate slacktivist endeavor. No risk, no effort. Great. People send me pictures and twats every day of their fake meat shenanigans during their trip to the store, and I love to get them. Who knows? You might decide spoiling fake meat isn't enough for you and risk your appetite gears towards something a little bigger. Oh yeah, the Georgia Guidestones. Oh man, I disavow. How dare anyone do this? Like TFM is right. No one's going to be willing to risk their life until the alternative is certain death. So until we get to that point, this level of civil disobedience, that's a good way to go about it.